All right, we are live today, June 11th, for another live training. Today's class is worth 500 entries into our contest giveaway. As always, I'll be releasing the bonus codes periodically throughout the live, and you can visit, let me add the link. And you just go to this link here to redeem those codes. Today, I wanted to specifically talk about how boring weightlifting is, and it's a real concern. It's something that we should really talk about because I see a lot of people making it fitness and taking care of themselves just another arduous task, just another thing to check off and make sure it's on their to-do list and juggle, run around. Um, it tends to add more stress to people's plate. And what's the point of that? The whole idea of fitness is supposed to enhance your life, not get in the way of it. So how can we set you up for success in that you're enjoying it, you're staying engaged, and you're not, because the opposite of that is usually stress or depression. You're either stressed about something that's coming in the future, you're depressed about something in the past, and then when you're not present in your workout, that's because you're elsewhere in your mind. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about how to overcome the boring, monotonous side of weightlifting. I want to talk about flexibility versus rigidity, and I want to talk about tying training specific to your goals, and then gamifying your workouts and having fun, essentially. But before we get going, I'll release the first promo code. We don't have Eric today, but the first promo code is DOGS, DOGS. As you can see, I'm obsessed. He's my little buddy, and he actually holds me accountable to getting out every day. That was a big thing for me when I first got started, was just overcoming feeling sorry for myself and overcoming a little bit of pain in my ulcerative colitis. And if I just focused on avoiding the pain all day long, I was in this defensive fear. I would basically just sit in bed. I would self-medicate with marijuana. I would avoid food because I was so afraid of everything causing more inflammation or more pain. And I would work in the morning from like 5 to noon, but then I just basically did nothing for the rest of the day. Thought I was healing, but it wasn't until I really took action, and I think that's a type of love. And getting the dog was anchoring me to taking that action of just getting out all the time. And the reason I don't find weightlifting so boring anymore is because I'm so in tune with how it's the means to my ends. See, I'm a firm believer, at least in my personal experience, of when I'm stagnant, that's when more problems come about. Idle mind's the devil's workshop. But also with that, it's like I give my body the ability to attack itself. Ulcerative colitis is like this weird inflammation-driven, self-attacking immune system response. It's unhealthy, right? It's maladaptive. It's something we want to get rid of. So by stimulating my body to have to recover or have to perform, it's kind of keeping them busy, keeping my cells busy, either repairing tissue, protein synthesis, or breaking down things to partition for fuel for performance. It's kind of always operating at a higher speed, and it was a gift and a curse. It was kind of this hypervigilance, but that's what allowed me to kind of take a step back and realize, okay, because in the beginning it was like weightlifting to try to get bigger and improve my muscles, improve my brain function, improve the way I look, improve my confidence. So I'd weightlift 5 days a week, but that wasn't sustainable, especially as I got older, especially as you work full time. The nutrition side of things, the recovery side of things is a full-time job in itself until you kind of get it refined into a simple process. So I had to kind of step away from the idea of 5 days a week because that's what became monotonous. And it was not the most beneficial way to lift. We all think about getting involved with weightlifting as I'm going to lift shoulders one day, biceps another day, back another day, chest another day, legs another day. And that's the bodybuilder mentality because they're specifically just looking for aesthetics and physique building. And because the way that bodybuilding started, they induce a lot of synthetic hormones by injecting steroids. They can get away with working out one muscle group a week. They can do chest on Monday, and their body's actually still going to be growing that muscle until the following Monday. But us natural guys, we should be hitting every muscle group twice a week. Well, when you have to bench press, I did this for probably 2 or 3 years. When you bench pressing, rowing, deadlifting, squatting, all the above every week twice, it does get monotonous. When you dumbbell row every week twice, or lat pull down every week twice, and when it's just for physique and aesthetics, it's so fleety because you look in the mirror right after your lift and you have this big pump and you love how you look, but it's fleeting. It goes away very quickly. And your sense of self, your sense of reaping the fruits of your labor is so superficial and tied to just your physical appearance, which can, be flexible to the lighting, what you ate, what your stress levels are like, what your last workout was like, what's your recovery like, how much inflammation are you holding, how much water are you carrying. There's a lot of ways that perfect physique comes and goes, and it shouldn't steer you accordingly. So that's why it's so important to be invested in the work. But where I'm going with this is I had to step away from going 5 times a week, get more refined into formal barbell lifting and the true sport of weightlifting, which involves like cleans, hang cleans, snatches, jerks, and is more functional to the total body performance. So not only are you improving your strength, you're increasing muscle, you're taxing your system. It's a type of conditioning. You're also improving your skeletal muscle, neuromuscular system to be more functional in everyday life. You're training better instincts. It's actually going to help your longevity as long as you're not, pushing through the pain and being the strong lifter versus just being the smarter lifter. So what allowed me to make it less boring was actually to get more refined at it and make it really specific to getting better at the sport of weightlifting. So each workout had a layer to it, had an element to it that was going to help for the bigger picture. And that made it very fun for me. It also made it very fun because I would have a day's break. I'd either have a day break. I'd do Monday, Tuesday, break Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday with breaks on Tuesday, Thursday. That's more my winter schedule. And what that allows is you to stay engaged in each workout because you're only doing it for 180 to 240 minutes a week. And it's easy to get into the monotony of it when you're doing the same weightlifting routine every single day, or the same exercises every single workout. So it's another thing where I specifically program for myself. Every 4 weeks, I rewrite my program. And I have this undulated periodization schedule that I follow so that I might be doing the same exercise week to week, but I'm doing it in a different fashion. It might be lighter. I might be working on just mindful form and technique, or it might be heavier, and I might just seeing how I can exert myself. So it's about switching up different elements to the workout and making a schedule that sets you up for success. And then again, tying it to your purpose for the weightlifting to begin with. So to me, it was like, well, I'm a coach also, so I got to practice what I preach. This is going to be something I got to do every single day. How do I keep myself engaged? Well, I make sure I'm having fun. I make sure I'm not feeling pain. And I make sure I feel challenged in some way. So you cover those 3 things, and you'll be surprised at how much results you get because of how much you're present for the actual work. I see so many people who want to be the strong lifter and just lift the heaviest thing they can, blast their music on, power through that pre-workout, and just be this machine of caffeine and numbness. And there's a place for that, don't get me wrong, but it's not the be-all, end-all. And that ultimately leads people to getting hurt. It leads people to getting bored. and it leads people back to that stagnancy or that what's the word I'm looking for? Just lack of activity, essentially, and lack of working out again, and losing that consistency side of things. Another workout code, or another promo code is outdoors. OUTDOORS. That's worth another 100 bonus points. That is 2 released so far. I'm going to have 3 left. I'm going to keep this one a shorter one today because it's very conceptual based, but it's an important topic. So yeah, tying it to having the workout make sense to why you want to get stronger, why you want to feel better, why you want to build a better future for yourself. It's so important. And it's why we ask people what they struggle with, because it's so important for that to be at the forefront. And we live in this society where we want to like cling to things that feel good and avoid things that feel bad. But I think there's a tool to keeping your fears and insecurities almost as an advisor. And it doesn't mean that you let them have a chokehold over you, but your kind of like your fear of maybe dying, even like, well, what's my purpose? Like, what do I do? Why am I working out? I have all this time in the world. Why am I wasting time working out? Well, it's like, okay, well, I want to improve my health. I want to be the vessel for my kids, my grandkids, my neighbors, my coworkers, my clients, my patients. I want to be the best I can be, so I can bring the best out in them. And I think when you can really find that within you and figure out how to connect those dots of ABC, well, then the fact that you have to weight lift to get to C won't mean a thing. It'll be another hour workout that you're going to have fun in and feel challenged with, but be present with, and just try to focus on good movement patterns, not get yourself hurt, and try to challenge yourself, right? And that way, the weightlifting side of things doesn't seem so stupid and archaic and caveman-like of pick things up, put things down. With that being said, that's where the programming needs to have a side of rigidity, like basic fundamentals. We've talked about this before in a lot of my content. There's 7 primary movement patterns. All workout programs should have some variation of a knee bending, aka squat, of a hinging, aka deadlift, of a pushing, like barbell pressing or overhead pressing, or a pulling, like seated rows or pull-ups, or even like a hang clean because you're pulling up. Lunging, rotation, and gait. So like a walking, farmer's carries, step ups, things like that. When you can include some of the rigidity pieces into your weekly routine, then you can have the flexibility. Then you can have the flexibility of, am I doing 3 reps of everything today? Or am I doing 5 reps? Am I doing pause reps? How do I feel? And you gauge all this stuff so that you're, again, staying engaged, and rigidity is going to be the opposite of happiness. So if you write all this stuff out to a T, and then you go into the moment and you don't trust your instincts, you're gonna piss yourself off, honestly. And that might be one way that you keep yourself motivated for a while, is pushing your back up against the wall so that you are forced to perform. But it's only going to take you so far. You need to have some flexibility in it so that you can adjust to the mental and physical check-in that you need to give yourself before each and every workout. And that's the idea. Again, you never step in the same river twice. That's a Marcus Aurelius quote, but it's so true. I mean, every day is a new day for a new opportunity. The classic line applies here of, the master has less opportunities than the beginner. So you always want to keep that beginner's mind, the ability to kind of reset to that blank canvas of, why am I working out today? Why is this workout important to me? What else do I have going on today? How's my body feeling? And what's my end goal? What's my purpose for this time spent? And a lot of the times it's to feel good. We're going to feel good by doing something challenging. If you do something that is challenging you every single day, you're not only going to be releasing endorphins and oxytocin, serotonin, but you're going to be building that self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to complete things and do things. And that alone is powerful. If you think of the um, placebo effect, I give people a drug that's shown in studies to work. I give people a sugar pill, but we tell each group what the purpose of the drug we're testing is, and the sugar pill group still believes that it's going to work, and sometimes it does, just because of the mere fact that they're believing it's going to work. So by you believing in yourself, in your abilities, that's such a transferable skill in anything you attack in life. So um, that's another thing to think about. Again, is like the weightlifting itself is just the means, but there's so many transferable skills to push yourself to do that workout, and the benefits are coming. So don't invest yourself in needing to see the fruits of your labor every single second. Like a weight loss client or a physique building client, looking in the mirror, stepping on the scale every single day, it's demoralizing. You will no longer invest yourself in the work. But the trick is to invest yourself in the work and forget about the end goal or the results in the immediate. You can have a set point in your schedule. Maybe every 2 weeks you're going to check in, just so that you get that bird's eye view, looking at kind of looking at a ship driving through the water. You look at the wake, but then you got to go back to the front of the ship and steer. No one steers the boat by looking at the wake, but you got to look at the wake to get information. That's another great quote is, life is lived going forward, but only understood looking back. So that's about where you kind of go between the two sides of everything. Of, again, the rigidity side of having somewhat structure. Yeah, I want to lift Monday, Tuesday, do cardio on Wednesday, lift on Thursday, Friday, rest Saturday, Sunday. Boom. There's your basic rigidity scaffolding. The flexibility is, how do you want to set up your schedule? And let's make it for 4 weeks, so that then you get flexible again. You can change it again. Let's make it 3 exercises that you focus on each workout, or let's make it 10 exercises at lower weight and circuit style. Whatever it is, that flexibility gets to be what you put into it based upon your goals, your activity levels, your schedule, your access to equipment, and just the realistic variables that you need to work with. Another promo code is HIKE1, HIKE 1. And this gets us to another point of being specific to your goals. So I myself, I got really heavily into snowboarding after COVID. And now, because of that, on my my off activity time in the summer and spring, I like to longboard, because it still helps me feel that balancing and control of my ankles that I would get in a snowboard. And I know that it's going to help me, it's going to translate over to be a better snowboarder. So especially after like squats or deadlifts, I'll actually want to go do it right away, because I want to get good at still having that fine motor control and gross motor control, especially after I'm tired, because snowboarding, especially if I want to be an instructor, I might have to be up there for 6 hours at a time. So finding ways to make it specific to your goal helps keep it engaging in general, because you care that much more. It makes that much more sense. The ends absolutely justify the means, and anyone who knows their why can withstand any how. And I'm so trite, that's why I love having Eric here. We're a good balance of science and I guess conjecture. But I think another way that people can connect it to their goals, especially with endurance athletes who really don't like weightlifting, I have to really show them what they're bad at. I have to show them their imbalances. I have to show them their asymmetries. And by demonstrating that, they already see the potential risk factors of impeding on their performance. If you're doing a marathon or an ultra marathon or a long bike race, if you have an imbalance, just a minor one, it builds up dividends against you over the amount of repetitions they have to do in one of these races, in one of these endurance races. So then being able to kind of see your biggest area of opportunity, it already sparks change in people. Then they see, okay, this is why I'm exercising. And to know that is is the key piece to allow them to stay consistent and allow them to stay engaged and having a little bit more fun, because they see how it's going to relate back to when they go on a run. And that might be the most rewarding thing for them, is going on that 100-mile run or 50-mile run, whatever it may be for that individual. That is their human soul on fire. I don't get it. I'm not someone who runs ultra marathons, but just the way that someone doesn't get it how I would go into the gym 4 days a week, or have a barbell and weights and platform in my house and have the desire to want to get there 4 days a week, 4 mornings a week, because of just how much I have fun with it. So it's really individual based. You have to figure out why you're doing everything. Ask yourself, mull on that question, dig deep. Why do I care? Oh, I want to have a long life. Well, why do I want to have a long life? Keep asking yourself why. Like you're that annoying kid who just is innocently honest with yourself. Be that for yourself, and really dig deep into that layers of that onion to find and unravel what it is that's so specific, and why you're working out, or why you're taking care of yourself, why you're spending time to improve your mind and body, and mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health. And another bonus code is going to be WEIGHT2. So WEIGHT, and then the number 2. We have 1 left. So this is my last point that I want to make today. And then I want everyone to go enjoy their Sunday. Hopefully unplug a little bit, get off social media, get off the internet. But gamifying and having fun in your workouts. I think we, especially in the beginning, when we're getting started or we're changing we're course correcting, right? A lot of people, we all kind of started here, but then some people took care of themselves. Other people just avoided taking care of themselves. And now at this point, they want to course correct. They're trying to get up here in such a quick amount of time because the shit has finally hit the fan. The problem that I see with that is people being so hard on themselves, taking it so seriously, self-loathing a little bit, shaming themselves, guilting themselves, putting the fear of God in themselves just to light that fire under their ass. And that can spark you, absolutely, but that's not going to help keep you consistent. And more often than not, it does lead people to binge eat or skip workouts, kind of throw out all the things that they've been working for, to eat a bunch of pizza and wings and donuts on the weekend because they're just so overwhelmed. They've reached a level of cognitive fatigue because they've made all these changes cognitively, but they can't just do it with pure willpower. That they got to train better instincts, and they forget to trust the process. But I do love this quote. We have to live between two worlds, right? We have to live between like this inner nature and inner drive in ourselves, this connectivity of inner spirit, our inner God, whatever you want to call it, our drive. But then we have to remember our social security number. We have to live in modern society. We have to operate amongst the way that everything came about. And there is no evidence to support the notion that life is serious. What I mean by that is I'm not an anarchist by any means, but what I mean by that is having fun in the process. There's a great quote about art. By C.S. Lewis. Friendship is unnecessary, like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things which give value to survival. So that's just so powerful. Like if you're not enjoying the process, if you're not laughing and singing and dancing and playing along the way of living life, then I think you're doing it all wrong. And it shouldn't be this another arduous task. You shouldn't be this have to aspire to asceticism, just pure rigidity on yourself to get where you want to go. It's going to be very lackluster. You have to have the ability to adapt and change, because life is change. And one of my best influences in my life was my grandmother, still is. But she said to me, Matt, there's three things in this world you can count on. Because I remember being a young kid, and I was always pushed and pulled by life, whipped around like a loose or a wet noodle. And my grandmother would say, Matt, there's three things you can count on in life to expect: death, taxes, and change. And it's so true. And the more that you can be open to change and flow with change, the more you become that person that is learning to surf the waves of life. Another classic line is, you can't learn to surf, but you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. So that's how you learn to adapt and change with time. And again, come back to that flexibility and rigidity. So again, you have a basic structure of like, okay, I'm not going to binge eat on pizza and cake and bullshit tonight or this weekend. But the flexibility side is, I'm going to have a little bit. I'm going to have a bite. I'm going to have a small plate. I'm going to share something with somebody. And again, living between those two worlds is finding the balance that allows you to live in the middle road, that allows you to have fun with what you're doing, enjoy the process to a degree, enjoy the challenge, see the benefits of invest yourself in the work. And then again, you're on this path where the fruits of your labor are going to come. So trust the process, enjoy the process, laugh a little bit on the way. Billy Joel said, I live my life between a laughter and a tear. And I love that quote. I think it's so powerful. So last thing I wanted to say is just our last promo code. And the contest is going to be ending soon. We have less than 2 months to go. We have a lot of people in that 15 to 20,000 entries earn category, which is absolutely phenomenal. So many people are checking out our blogs, listening to our podcast. We're up to 10,000 total downloads of our podcast. We have about 1,000 listeners a month in our podcast, so that's really cool to see. Everyone engaging. We're getting a lot of comments in our blogs. We have like 300 to 500 views per episode in our training courses, which I just can't believe it. I mean, I remember making one of those videos and just thinking to myself, if one person watches this video and finds it useful, I'll be happy, and I'll be, shocked a little bit. So I just can't thank you guys enough. All those who are participating in the Facebook community, emailing me questions, people who are buying our program booklet, people who are trusting us from overseas or somewhere across this country to write their programs for them or to coach them. It just really means a lot. That's again back to our purpose, Eric and I's purpose. We know that we can help people. This is our field that's become our craft and our career, and we would be nowhere without people to help. So thank you all those for participating. And the last promo code today is SWIM4, SWIM, and the number 4. No other real announcements except I'm working on different affiliate relationships. So I have one with a nutrition company right now. I have one with a red light therapy device right now. I want to get some with equipment. So I just want to give people opportunities, especially for following our channel, to have promo codes where if they still wanted to buy some of this stuff that we've been talking about or giving out, they can go get it at a discounted rate. So I'm working on putting together a relationship with some of the common equipment pieces that I use and showcase in my videos. So stay tuned. Yeah, and other than that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to sit around for a couple minutes and address any questions about, maybe it's about your fitness journey, maybe it's about the specific exercise. You have any questions about what we talked about today? But other than that, I hope everyone goes and enjoys their Sunday. We're about 10 days away from summer. I've been putting a 30-day ab challenge together. You can see on our social media, there's about 26 or 27 ab exercises right now. I've been doing 30 reps every day just to show you that you can really strengthen your six-pack or your core and get summer ready. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. You know how to reach us if you need anything. thinkfitnesslife@gmail.com. Hop in our training group if you have any specific questions, where we have a community to support you in your fitness journey. Um, and other than that, have a great Sunday.